Hi everyone. Welcome to. Do I have an echo?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Hi everyone. Welcome to Businesses the Chat. Today we're having a coaching session with Smooth today, our life coach. How you doing, coach?
I am tired, like I told you. So I've been traveling the last 2 days.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like when we do these sessions, we need to forget about how exhausted we are. We need to educate the people. So yeah, I'm good.
Yes. So today's session, we're going to be talking about general management processes and procedures, and Coach will be taking us through some of the stuff you kind of like you need to know in general. Especially this is more focused on especially startups. People who are starting up and want to learn and want to grow, and what skills and what other stuff they need to learn before they actually get into the nitty gritty of things. So without further ado, let me fix the screen so our coach can do the things. So, coach, our first question, we always define what is the topic. What does it mean? So today, what does general management mean?
Okay. So general business management is where you, as a business owner, you manage different resources, different tools, and different systems within your organization, right? And I'm talking about actively managing them. So, Molesh, there's a difference between implementing systems, processes, procedures, and acquiring resources for your business and managing them. Very big difference between, because managing them basically means you are now making them work for you. You are bringing them together so that they are one thing, and this machine that's called your business can now start moving. So a lot of people, they acquire them and they'll say, I have this equipment, I have this resource, I've got this software that we've put in place, but they are not coordinating them. They're not putting them together and actively managing them. So when we talk about business management, you're taking all of those resources that you've acquired and you are managing them so that they work together, so that your machine is well oiled. It's not only engine needs oil. It needs air, it needs pressure, it needs all of those things. You need to make sure everything is interlinked, and then you are managing it actively, which means you are checking if it's still working, you are doing corrective actions, you're doing an analysis to make sure that everything is still pushing.
So basically, when you're starting your business on your own, there are actually a lot of things you need to manage and you need to learn. What are the most important things that you feel that one needs to learn first?
Processes and procedures, number one.
Mhm.
Because if you acquire software and then you acquire systems and all of that, but you don't understand where they fall within the procedure, you have a problem. So when we
Mhm.
talk about processes and procedures, let's speak about onboarding as an example. If somebody comes to your consultation as Molesh, right, as Mosolute Consulting, and they're saying, I need help to start my business. I need to take my business idea and take it to the next level. If you don't have that process, what do we do first, right? So for my business, it starts with a free consultation. After a free consultation, there's going to be a follow-up email. After a follow-up email, there's something that you need to complete, which is your details. It's based on a specific software. And then in my business inside, I need to onboard you and capture your details. There's a different software that I use for that. And then I need to send you an invoice so that you can pay. What I use to create an invoice, it's another software. So do you understand that? I understand where all of this software fits. But in order for me to determine that, I had to draw the process and the procedure and then start picking which software is going to work where. So some people, they reverse the process. They're so excited about software, they start signing up. And I'm thinking a lot of entrepreneurs that are here will tell you, I've done this before, where I've signed up for things, a lot of things I've signed up for. And I still
Mhm.
get email notifications today and updates and whatever, but I've never used it because when I picked it, I was like, hey, this is cool for my business. But because I hadn't drawn up my process, I figured out later that this actually does not fit in anyway. So your process is very simple. Start by drawing your process. So you've got your onboarding process, like I gave an example. You've got your coaching process, What do we discuss? How do we record it? How do I send it to you? That requires a system and software as well. But before I decided that I'm going to be using ClickUp, for example, to do that, I had to look at my process and say, then which software would I need? Then I landed up on ClickUp. So you need to learn your process first. That's sort of like your business manual. When you're buying a new laptop, they'll give you a manual in terms of how it works. If you're buying a
Yeah.
skincare product, they'll give you, at the back how it works. So you need to figure that stuff out first and then start plugging in the tools, resources, and systems. So processes and procedures, number one.
Okay. Right, I get it. Because now it's running through my mind. Okay, I have to fix my process because I have identified where my error is, and yeah, guys, I hope you took
Yes.
that. So, how can small businesses be successful in building business management?
Right. So if you want to be successful in business management, so we've spoken about step number one, right? So it's drawing up your process. Number two, you need to understand where all of your systems fit in, right? Because they need to speak to each other. They need to jump from one process to another. If you have 10 manual processes running at the same time, they become loose, they become disconnected. It's going to be a nightmare to manage them. And I'll give you an example again. When you are booking a free consultation with me, or let's say you are booking a coaching session with me, right? You're going to use JotForm to I use JotForm for you to put in your details, right? Because you're booking for the first time, Moleboheng, your surname, and then your email address, right? And then you're gonna click submit. When you click submit, I've connected it so that automatically it goes to the payment gateway. That payment gateway is going to say add your credit card information or use EFT and whatever the case is. And after you pay, it's going to send you directly to Calendly. And Calendly is where now you're going to plug in terms of which date you'd like to do your coaching session now that you've paid. And then after you submit that on Calendly, I've connected it to Zoom so that after you select your date, it automatically sends you a Zoom link. You see, all of my systems are connected and it happens with one click. Once you start filling out the one, the others are going to start working. They're going to start working. The only thing I do is I check my calendar, so I've automated my process. But I don't, if I was doing it separately and they weren't connected, it was still going to be too manual because it means you would have to fill in jot form. I get your details. From those details, I have to email you the payment gateway. You do the payment gateway, you're done. I have to go inside the payment gateway and see that Molebheng has paid. Then send you the link manually for Calendly. Then you would book the link for Calendly, then I'll see which date you booked. Then go on Zoom and automatically create a Zoom meeting and go back to the email and send it back to you. Horrible business management. My systems are not
Yeah.
talking to each other, So now you click one, and from the start to finish, I don't have to do anything. I don't even get to see what's happening in the background. All I know is that I'm going to get a notification from Zoom that a meeting has been booked. So already I can make an assumption that you've paid. So when I go back at night and I'm finishing my day, I can get into my payment gateway. I can see the payment is there, or I can go to my bank statement or whatever the case is, and I can see your details. You get what I'm saying? So successful general business management is how you connect your systems and automate them so that they start speaking to each other.
Yeah, and I can see that when you actually breaking it down, how simple it is. Because as a client, give a thing it's like the up and down, it's unnecessary. And then you feel like, oh, this is a nightmare because now you're waiting for somebody to say, I've received, I have, so everything is connecting. So automation is the way to go, guys. Basically find systems that are automated that are gonna work for your business and make life simple for both parties.
Especially for the customer. Because you must remember, Molesh, a big part of if you want to measure how successful you are in your business management, there's two sides of it. Number one, how frustrating was it for you as a business and your employees? But most importantly, how frustrating was it for the client? That's what we call customer experience. How was your customer's experience in this whole process? If they had to chase you for stuff, you have to chase them for stuff. They send things. They might end up not even paying and buying the solution that you are offering. That's what we call good customer experience or horrible customer experience. These are the two things that you need to measure to see if you are successfully managing your business.
So, coach, for instance, say now someone like Hannah, I'm thinking of people who are maybe in the rural areas who don't actually have access to such things. What advice would you give them?
So manual processes, guys, are still allowed, right? It's just
Mm-hmm,
that digitization is easy and automation is easy because it's 4IR
mm-hmm,
now, right? But manual processes are still acceptable. And your manual processes, you can also still simplify them, right?
mm-hmm,
So instead of a 5-page form that people need to fill out, maybe make it shorter, right?
mm-hmm,
Because it's easier for me to fill out as a potential customer, but whoever is going to be capturing it in my business, the resource that I'm going to be using, it's easier and quicker for them to also capture that information. So if you look at a jot form, for example, in electronic format, you can have a piece of paper because with jot form, I ask for 3 things. I can tell you we'll get them later. So when
mm-hmm.
you engage me, I just want your name, surname. I just want your email address. That is all I want. That is all I want. The rest of the stuff will sort out when I'm onboarding you. When now I will open up my system, and as you're sitting there, we'll go through it. Okay, Mlebeheng, I've got your surname, I've got everything. Maybe I've got additional questions because you are my business coaching client. What sector are you in? I fill it out very quickly and whatnot. So there's still a manual process at the end. But the first ones are quite short form. So the mistake that we make is that the first form is long, right? So that process is out of the window because if somebody makes a mistake on that form, it's like they have to restart the whole process. That doesn't work. Number two, the person who's capturing it, when it's too long, you are creating a lot of room for errors. So there's a chance
Okay.
that they might capture wrong information because if you are capturing 25 long forms. Let's say now, Molesh, you are a lady CEO and most Solute is growing now. You're getting 25 clients a day. And the
Mm-hmm,
person that has to capture it this long, there's a lot of room for error. So you're gonna be sitting with the client and then calling them with the wrong name and the right surname, and it's just gonna be
yeah.
too complex. People are burned out. So you can still simplify a manual process. And when you are inviting them to come for sessions, let's say you decide to use WhatsApp or you decide to use SMS for that, you also make that process much more easy because you emphasize the importance of phone numbers than anything else, right? And then a person, you can write the steps for them down that as soon as you're done with this is how you send emails, SMSs and whatever the case is. Maybe you guys have a cell phone or WhatsApp messages. So even a manual process that is not digitized, it can still be automated so that it falls onto the next one. The trick here is make it simple. Less forms, less paperwork, less filling out, less capturing, and then you will be fine. So that's what people in those remote areas should focus on.
All right, I get it. What are some of the things that small businesses need to manage?
Right. Software, when you are starting out, that's something you need to manage. And Molesh, that's why it's very important. When I'm talking about software, I'm even talking about programs like your Jotform, your Calendly, your Zoom, stuff that I've mentioned, right? And for me, that is why it's important when you get a certain piece of software or system that you're going to use in your business, study it. Because sometimes there are these hidden features that you don't see. The reason why I managed to be able to connect all of my 4 systems for onboarding, there were features that I didn't know, but because I studied it, I could see that this one sends a link to this one pushes it, right? So your software, in terms of managing it, it basically means break it apart and make sure that you understand it. If you need to pay for premium packages, pay for premium packages. I pay for premium packages because that's where I get all of these hidden features. And they're not expensive, Molesh. If you convert rent to dollar, I mean, some of the things that I'm paying for is 297 rands per month. There's a 129 rands a month here. When you put it together, it doesn't even get to $1,000 a month. So
Mm-hmm.
make sure that when I'm saying you are managing the software aspect of it, you are managing the features, you are studying it, you are breaking it apart. The next thing, obviously, that you need to manage is your resources, right? So your resources is the people that work for you or people that you've contracted or your business partners or your stakeholders or whatever the case is. So if I have a group of coaches because I have a program and I'm outsourcing some of the work to them, that process needs to be managed itself, right? There's a process in there. So when do I send clients to you? How do I send them to you? Do I send them as a referral where you are also CC'd on the email, or do we do it automatic handover with my Calendly connecting to your Calendly? You get what I'm saying? So there's a process that we need to manage. So I cannot say, I give it a level and then that's it. So when clients come through, I will send you those clients. We still haven't defined what the process is.
Mm-hmm.
Things fall through the cracks. You won't know who I've sent to somebody. So that means you won't be taking meetings. So this client can't get hold of me because Nike is handing it over to you, but that information has not come to you. So you need to manage the resources that you are working with. And then obviously you need to manage your operations. So your
Mm-hmm.
operations manual is your processes and procedures as they are written out. So you need to
Mm-hmm.
manage, because if a process is not working anymore, you must erase and rewrite or do a corrective action or do an update to a process and procedure. So you must pretend as if you've got staff members and you are doing this for them. You wouldn't sit with a process that has changed. You can write them in Microsoft Word and put them somewhere in your desktop. It doesn't matter. You can write them on a piece of paper. You can write them as a diagram format. It doesn't matter. But the point is, if something changes, you need to change it. So those are three big things that you would need to manage.
Okay. Are they types of management, business management?
There are types of business management styles, but the
Okay.
principle is the same, but the
Say.
style is not the same. So I'll give you a couple of examples. With me, when it comes to business management, I'm very technological in terms of how I do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's somebody who's very manual in terms of doing it. There's somebody who's very engaging when it comes to doing it. So me, I can do it on my own and send it to everybody else to look at. You may need to be in a group setting in order for you guys to go through processes and procedures. So you are a discussion kind of person. That's why companies do it. You get companies that are saying we're going to bring an expert to come at the office. Some of them, what it's banally breakaway. For weekend day, we're going to take staff member, lodging, go kai kai. And some of them will
Oh,
say, no, I will handle it internally, and then I will do that. So it really differs. So sometimes it's one person who's driving the ship, and then sometimes it's a group of people that are driving the ships. So it's a bottom up or top down sort of like approach in terms of how I do my management. So there are different styles when it comes to it, but the principle will be the same. You need to manage your
oh,
resources. You need to manage your software. You need to manage your systems. You need to manage your procedures.
all right. And then when should small businesses start with business management?
Day one. So from
They are.
day one, when you build your business, and Molesh, these are things that I'm seeing now in hindsight, right? So my
Mm-hmm.
business has been in existence for almost 2 years now, and in hindsight, I'm looking. It's more work now for me to create procedures and systems, and I should have done it in the beginning. So I should have preempted some of the things and done it in the beginning. Obviously, I wasn't going to get it perfect because I would still need to put it in practice. Because at some point you have to put everything in practice. You can't be a theoretic person, theoretical person, sorry, yes, who's always you have it up here and you are visualizing how it's going to work. You need to have actual clients to see if this thing works or not. But I think I should have at least done some groundwork when it comes to that before I started taking up on a number of clients, then it would be improvement. But now it's almost 2 years later, and I have to now start rebuilding the systems. It's a lot of work, but it has to be done. So, guys, start it from day one. Pretend your business has departments. Receptionist, because you are a receptionist in a way when you're starting your business. You're also an admin person, automate your business. You're also a CEO who has to come up with strategy. You are a salesperson. You're also a marketing person. You're also an HR person. So break it down from the beginning and say, okay, fine. In my work as a reception, this is how I want it to work. In admin, I want it to work like this. And then start bringing those different softwares in there. Then from there on, you just keep improving and improving and improving. So you start from day one, as soon as you set up your business.
Because I was also coach. Now I'm thinking now. When you start off your own business, I get we hear do market research. Like, can you please share with us what is market research? Where do you start doing market research? Because people be looking on Google. People are not maybe doing physical surveys or going out there to ask the masses, would you like the service or would you like this product? How do we test drive the market to see if what I'm going to put out is going to sell?
So I have a very unpopular opinion
Mm-hmm,
about that, right? And a lot of people have fought me on it. I didn't do market research.
mm-hmm,
So I didn't put out surveys and ask people, what would you be interested, what would you not be interested in? What I
mm-hmm,
did, I said, I'm starting a coaching business. I'm going to speak to a couple of people and start selling. So I started selling immediately because I was
mm-hmm,
sure of the product. I was sure of what I'm offering you. It's a mindset shift, it's business coaching, and whatever the case is. I went to particular people and I said to them, listen here, this is what I'm offering. Would you be interested in it? So the people that said yes and the people that said no, that was my market research because I could see that, I always tell the story of how I created my business for men, but I ended up with 95% of my clients being women, right? So the men were rejecting the whole thing. So I said, clearly the men are not connecting with this thing, right? The women of a particular age and a particular race were jumping in, and I started understanding why, right? Then I started writing their profiles down, not literally writing their profile, they call it an avatar. But I did it in my head, and I was like, okay, the common traits about these people is they're women, black women. It's mostly single or divorced because I've got a very few people that are actually married in my programs, and they are at a particular age. And then I started asking them, like, so why? Why do you feel it's time to get a coach? And when they explained to me why it's time for them to get a coach, all of them, the stories sound similar. It's like our lives are only starting now because for a very long time we were married, we forgot about ourselves, there were kids and whatnot. Manaba Hurile now, so it's time for me. So that was my market research. So I had to be rejected. I had to work with people. And some of the people I even realized during the process, Hore, I don't know how to cater for them. I really don't know how to cater for them. And I had to drop them along the way and be like, let me refer you to somebody else. That was my market research. Market research was who did I approach, who said yes, and did they pay the full amount? So then all of the people that rejected me because they looked common, then I stopped bothering with them. Then when I started marketing on LinkedIn and I focused on the same people that are on the profile, guess what? They were biting. And I understood why. Based on so guys, you need to start practicing and stop sitting on theory, research, data, analytics. I'm not saying those things are not important, but I'm just saying, there's something we call analysis paralysis, where you're just analyzing forever and ever. You won't start. So that is my unpopular opinion. I know a lot of people are gonna come for me, but I'm ready to debate it. Let's go.
but I can relate because with me, I said to myself, I feel like I'm good at this. You know, giving people ideas, helping people, kickstart their dreams, their goals. You understand? I have this thing in me. I know how to communicate people. I know how to feel someone. I know where to find information for them to start their thing. You understand? And then I was just like, people were like, "Did you do your market research?" I'm just like, market research. Not, I've got the skills, I've got the tools, I can do it. You understand? Because okay, ke tlo dula ka market research ena, and then what if it says the demographics thing, it says people are not gonna buy in wherever you are? Then what? It discourages you from starting whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? So
Exactly,
I'm with you.
exactly.
I'm
My
with you
market
on that.
research, my market research I did a small market research in Jake, not me. My market research said to me, men need coaching because they don't have anybody to speak to, blah, 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 and they bottle things up. So now I went with that. It was a lie. 95% is women. So do
Uh,
you see now? So sometimes, and then I mean, like, if I had gone and said, okay, I'm approaching men only as per my market research, and all of them are saying no, then I was going to say, then my business model is wrong. Goodbye. Ice cream. Because I
yes,
wouldn't have
yes.
gone to the back of my head, hey, Zamabasai, and see what's happening. You get what I'm saying? I would have just shut it down and moved on. But because I said, you know what, this market research at this moment in time, something is not right. I said, Sbu, throw this thing away. Sell to different races, sell to different genders, sell to different age groups, and sell to particular provinces, and just sell. And from there on, you'll be able to narrow it down. So for a person in your position, Molesh, what I would say is, as long as you've got your onboarding process,
Mm-hmm.
if I want to sign up, what do I fill in? And you've got a link for me, either a jot form or calendar or whatever. And then you know how you send me that invoice or that link for me to pay. So long as you've got those two things, the third one actually even being the actual consultation. As long as you've got those three things, start selling and see who bites. Go make mistakes. Go get rejected. Go. Just go see. Because what you have in your head, because if your market research tells you, Hori, you must sell to a particular race, and actually people that are looking for your stuff, it's a particular race, or actually it's even it's a particular country, and then it's not happening, you're going to drop everything and say, okay, fine, according to theory, this thing doesn't work. Onboarding,
Yeah.
as long as it's where, how to pay, as long as it's where, how to execute on the consultation, as long as you have that, you'll see. You'll see who's saying yes, who's saying no.
Yeah, because I'm also thinking with your journey, how it started, and then what did you discover, and what are you doing right now? I'm also wondering, Corey, this is what I want to pursue. I obviously my consultancy is focusing on people who are starting, who have an idea but they don't know how to execute. You understand? So I'm just wondering, because obviously I'm gonna run with the three steps that you gave me. Go sell, see who bites. You understand? And then obviously from that it's gonna tell. I feel like for some crazy reason, I feel like it's gonna take me to a different direction. But
It might. It
it
might.
might
It
not.
might. Let me tell you something. If I showed you my website last year, March, I kept an archive of my website last year, March, and you look at my website today, two different things. And it's one.
Yeah.
Because even in the process, I've started seeing what people are buying, what people are looking for, what perceptions do people have Hebabona growth peak. So I had to change my wording, I had to change my offering a little bit, make some adjustments so that it actually speaks to them. Only now it's becoming clear. I mean, it's actually at a point where I'm actually even niching to a particular industry. So we'll no longer be offering business coaching to just everyone. 80% of our offering is going to be niched. We're looking at insurance brokers now. And the reason why we're looking at that is because the insurance industry is more excited about what we offer in business coaching than anybody else. So the other 20% is going to be general businesses. But the insurance brokers, they love to know how LinkedIn works. They love to know how to connect with strategic partner. They love to know how, because LinkedIn is a very big part of the business coaching that we do. So those people are very excited about showing their presence and getting into strategic partnerships and whatnot. So we were like, okay, guys, if this is a bulk of people that's excited about us, then why don't we create something, messaging for them, marketing products that speak to them, articles that speak to them, so that when they look at it, they know this is particularly for me in this specific industry. So you learn as you go, but the only way you learn
Yeah.
as you go, you must practice. You can't sit and
Yeah.
analyze, go sell, go get rejected, narrow it down from there.
Yes, I'm actually more than anything. Like ever since I've met you, coach, like you one of the biggest inspiration for me and motivators for me. And like the more we have this session, the more I'm more excited to do this thing and see. And more than anything, I'm excited to learn because get our background on analyze that data, you know. So to a certain extent, it benefited me, but in a bar because I'm more of a hands-on person. Ke rata ho etsa, ka tla go bona gore ntho e ke e etsang ke tsone, sitting behind and analyzing. He's analyzed forever. So
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So I'm actually gonna go back like literally tomorrow. My homework is to go re-evaluate my processes and procedures for my consultancy, and then obviously on Friday you're gonna obviously chop it up with me and we will see. So before we close, coach, what's the challenge?
Woo, we're doing the challenge. Guys,
Yes.
I want you guys, your challenge, write your processes.
Hmm.
don't Google too much. Yes, go research a little bit how writing processes works and whatnot, right? But go write your processes the way you want them to look, not textbook style. Go
Mm-hmm.
write your processes and share those processes with us, and then we will see what kind of gift we're going to give you. Because this time it may not be a gift from me, it might be a consultation with Most Salute. We don't know. We
Yes, we don't know. Yes, it's entirely up to you. So yeah, coach, what I'm obviously this video I'm gonna download. I've been downloading all our sessions, and I'm my strategy now. I discovered it today for how I'm going to nitpick myself. So because obviously I want people to come and watch the session fully. So I kind of like to make chop it into two short videos that I feel like are key, and then yeah. Because you see, I posted already 3 videos.
yes,
Hey,
yes.
busy go TikTok go nyaka, hey. So I'm going to be some of the videos I wanna post them on Instagram, on my personal Instagram and on my page, and then go Facebook as well. So yeah, I'm just gonna I'm gonna make noise there. So that's the whole strategy from now moving forward.
Yes.
Posting 2 videos of each session so people can nitpick a bit and yeah, hopefully engage. So
People must follow you. Follow you guys. Most salute. Moleboheng. Guys, I can tell you right now, with my interactions, Slim Moleboheng, one heba waka women to look out for in business. We're talking about my friend here. Definitely somebody
uh,
to look out for, because I think your consultation is going to bring in some stuff. You are bold. I saw on the other time we had a live, and you were already saying to people, "Yo, I need you to come to my podcast. Yo, I need you to come to my podcast." It's like your presence is felt when you get inside a live. So,
yes,
yo, why not just keep going? You're gonna kill this thing. So people need to follow you before they miss out. But don't join number one link 1 billion subscribers, because they're just gonna be a number. Guys, join now.
guys,
So that you can claim that that CEO, I know her. Little mo claim ako na ganun, you know. So yeah.
thank you, coach. Thank you for that. And even I was thinking because I wrote the ladies' names down. I haven't DM'd them because I'm gonna host them. I think September, October. I think October, and I'd like you to be part of the session as well. I'd
Good,
like you to
great.
be
Because
part of the
they are
session.
all my friends anyway. Give them pinches.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
now
gonna be
network. I
yeah.
network, guys. I network. So all of the people that are starting their businesses now one day in 10 years' time, when I'm having lunch with these CEOs, because I was with them while they were starting out, and now they are these top-notch CEOs, it puts me in a better position. That's why, guys, you must network, network, and network.
Yeah.
Don't undermine people while they're starting. Be there, because you don't know if they're gonna rapidly become successful, and they will take you with them because they're grateful for what you offer. Important.
100%. Because I'm just saying to myself, ne, okay, I'm growing slowly and I'm learning to be patient with my journey. And
Yes.
you said to me, I took that thing, yeah, hore, take your time, pace yourself, but don't take too long. You know what I mean? And it's gonna work to my advantage, because now I'm at least my worry was I don't have a mentor. So now I should mentor. You know what I mean? I don't have someone to guide me, and I know Jorge, I have so much potential. And you've mentioned Jorge, there is so much you can offer. It's all about finding that thing that you will run with and make it work. So more than anything, I always say I am grateful that I met you, coach. Like yeah, you have no idea how much you instill some like that motivation, that fuel that gives me the drive to say, do it, you can do it, you know?
That
Yeah,
makes me
coach.
so happy. It makes me happy, Molesh. That is the aim of my company, Growth Peak Wellness. We want you to come in. We want you to feel good by the time you leave, but it's not false hope that we're giving you. So we don't keep pampering you and giving you compliments knowing that you're going to fail. What we say, we mean it. And you know, Molesh, I'm the most practical person. Hence, even with this market research thing, I'm like, go be
Mm,
practical and sell. Then you will know what the problem is. Don't sit and analyze. The philosophy of Growth Peak: project manage yourself into success. The only way you project manage yourself into success is by acting and becoming practical.
thank you so much, coach. This was very insightful. Yeah. So I always have homework every time I host these sessions. And by the time people catch on, ka be re bua ka dilo tse ding, ka be re kgakala. But yeah, at least it's something that will be here. People can always come back. Pella, this is like a teaching life in terms
Yeah.
of business. Yeah. So thank you so much, Coach. Rest and take it easy. And I'll see you next week for our next session.
Thank you so much, Mo, for always hosting me. Guys, we will catch you every Wednesday. Today we did it at a different time because I was traveling. But every Wednesday, I'm with Molesh. We're going to talk about business and a whole lot of things. Molesh, thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you so much. And cheers to everyone who's watching. Bye.